So how do you make space for the things that you care about and the goals that you really, really want to achieve? I think the first one, this is harder for some and easier for others, but the first thing is to create and then enforce boundaries. If you know you are at your most productive and your energy, mental energy is highest, I don't know, between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., protect that time with your life. Create boundaries. If you're working from home, shut the door, put a do not disturb sign on. If you're working in an office, babe, and if you're not the boss, talk to your boss and say, hey, look, can I just get these 3 hours every day, uninterrupted, meeting free, whatever else it is? Have conversations with people and see how you can restructure your day to create and then enforce the boundaries that work for you. Similarly with time, if people are constantly asking you for favors, either at work or in your personal life, start saying no more often. I know it's not an easy thing, and sometimes it feels like it's a 4-letter word to say no to people and you feel like a bitch or you feel like an asshole. But look, at the end of the day, you cannot be everything to everyone, and nor should you try to be. So create a boundary around how much of your time and energy you're going to give to other people. Sometimes, obviously, you can. If it's an emergency or, other things like that, fine. I get, not everything is sort of a hard and fast rule, but just think about where there is this slow bleed of energy from your life and time from your life and start plugging those holes. To say no more, I think it just takes practice. So it's not something that comes easily. I think especially for women, we're expected to be accommodating and nice and, say yes to every request that comes our way. Just start practicing. It will get easier with time. And one of the things that can work brilliantly in feeling more comfortable saying no is if you just write down a script. If you think of, all of the requests that come your way, let's say in a work environment, you're constantly the person whose people are asking to plan extracurricular activities or office parties. Maybe you say you're going to do one this year. And then the next time somebody comes to you and says, hey, can you order the cake for that person's birthday or whatever you do in your office? Write down, how are you going to say no gracefully? Actually, I just really need to focus on this project that I'm working on at the moment. Would you mind asking somebody else? Something as simple as that. Use your own words, use whatever feels right for you, but you can write a script and then get practicing using it. I promise you, it will get easier with time. Do dumping and delegating is something that has worked brilliantly for me to sort of cull the noise in my life. So again, it takes a bit of time and a bit of thought, but I would say sit down, give yourself a good amount of time and just think through all of the things that you do on a daily basis and literally write it all down. Wake up in the morning, commute, chair a meeting, have this conversation with this employee, create PowerPoint presentation, do financial analysis, whatever it is that you do in your life. And then start looking at places, this is something that's really important I need to keep doing. Oh, this is something that actually is just a time waster and I'm going to find ways to dump it. Meetings are usually a prime candidate for something that can be dumped or at least done less often. Or delegate. Are there things that you are doing that are sucking up a lot of your time that you can delegate to somebody else? Can you delegate tasks at home to a partner or a roommate or somebody else? Can you delegate some of the work that's on your plate to an assistant or a colleague or anybody else on your team, or at least spread the load? Before you reflexively say, no, I can't do this or I can't do that, just think about it. Just think, if you had to dump something, what would you dump? If you had to delegate something, what would you delegate and who would you delegate it to? And then just try it out. And then this is another thing. It's sort of living your values. I've said this a couple of times, but so many times you get sucked into things that just have nothing to do with us, what we care about, because we feel bad saying no, because we've got a reputation for being sort of the go-to person in the office or in our social circle or whatever it is. But look, at the end of the day, if you don't want to do something, if it doesn't align with your values, again, at work or in a social environment, then don't do it. There's no reason you have to do it. And everything that you say no to, everything that you sort of reinforce your boundaries and reinforce your values to, will mean that you can say yes to something that is important to you. You're creating the time, the headspace, the energy to do more of what you actually care about. So be protective of the things you say yes to and be as profuse as possible with your no's. This doesn't mean going from one extreme to another, right? But gradually work it into your life. Reset the expectations amongst the people you interact with in the office, in your company, at home, and then start playing around with it. Like I said, it gets easier with time and with practice, but you have to do it because no one's going to do it for you. If anything, they're just going to keep dumping stuff on top of you because you always come through.